Hi, I'm Joey, and this video blog is going to be the whole story of my son Jack, and hopefully I can get it all out. Here we go. The whole story. I wrote this on September 11th, 2006. I'm still in shock and don't know if I'm ready to write this yet, but I'm going to try because I don't know what else to do right now. Here's our story. Sorry if it's long, but it's still so fresh. I have severe PCOS with severe insulin resistance and hypothyroidism. We've been trying to conceive for 5 years with medical assistance. We've moved from Utah to Arizona in March 2005. I found my new amazing doctor in January of 2006. In March 2006, I had a large tumor removed from my uterus. It came back clear, cancer-free. He also scraped my uterus and drained all of my cysts and found that they will one day become cancerous. After consulting with 6 oncologists, they agreed that we had time to try for a baby. Our first try after surgery with Clomid, we got pregnant. We were in shock. After 8 years trying, it was totally unbelievable. I had no morning sickness. I did have to get daily progesterone shots to keep my levels up to normal. I had ultrasounds every 2 weeks because this pregnancy was high risk. We heard the heartbeat a couple of times at different appointments and had my 20-week big ultrasound set for Friday, September 1st. Tuesday, August 29th, we went to bed, and I had a hard time getting comfortable. After a few hours of tossing and turning, I got up and went to the couch and thought I was having really bad gas pains. I was burping and passing gas quite often, so I wasn't too worried about it. I ended up feeling much better and fell asleep the next morning. I woke up Wednesday afternoon, and when I went to the bathroom, there was a really weird discharge. Sorry if that's too much information. It looked like baby or child snot with a bit of brown in it. I had no idea what it was. I called my doctor and they made me an appointment for the next morning, saying it wasn't abnormal. I possibly had an infection of some sort. I felt completely normal all day and was happy that those gas pains had gone away, because that, coupled with the weird discharge, really worried me. We went to bed around 11:30 p.m. Wednesday night, and I immediately felt like I was having a repeat of the night before. I couldn't get comfortable, and after a short time I moved to the couch. The pains were a little different from the night before. This time they were more crampy, but I knew I had a doctor's appointment in the morning, and I figured I could wait it out. Since they didn't seem worried. The more painful the cramps came, the more I got worried and jumped online to try to find out what was happening. I knew at 19 weeks and 3 days is way too early for labor. And this being my first pregnancy, I had no idea what contractions were going to feel like. And from what every pregnant woman has ever told me, nothing is as painful as being in labor. These felt only a little more painful than regular cramps, and they never seemed to go away. They got worse every 5 minutes or so, but the pain never ceased. It wasn't like they came and went and came and went. It just kept coming. By the time I found something about preterm labor, it was 4:30 in the morning. Just as I was making a decision to call my doctor, my husband woke up and insisted I call. I don't know why I was so worried about waking the doctor, but I didn't want to bother him if it was nothing. I will never wait again. I called the doctor. His on-call operator was going to page him, so I jumped in the shower, assuming I might be going to the hospital to be checked in. My doctor called back and told me to go to the hospital triage and tell them I was 20 weeks along. Otherwise, they would do nothing. They wouldn't monitor anyone under 20 weeks. At that time, we believed I was 19 weeks and 3 days. I immediately knew something was wrong, and my husband and I jumped in the car and I cried all the way to the hospital. The pains continued to get worse and more constant. It was then that I started to wonder if these were indeed contractions. At 6 a.m., the triage doctor examined me and told me that I was fully dilated. And the amniotic sac was covering the cervix. She told us that there was no question that I would be delivering, and no chance that our baby would survive. She apologized and left to let the sonogram tech to verify. I completely lost it. I cried like I've never cried before. I knew I needed to be strong, but I felt this was my fault. I had waited too long to call a doctor, and I had wasted time worrying about whether to wake him or not. How could I ever forgive myself? The tech came in and was quiet the entire time. We saw our baby. The heartbeat was so strong. He was moving his arms and legs as if everything was normal. She was measuring his organs and showed us my cervix dilated and the water bag making its way down. The baby's head was also down, ready to follow. The tech left. The doctor came back and again said she was really sorry, but they can't risk infection, and that I would be moved to labor and delivery as soon as a room became available. She also said that they would be giving me as many painkillers as needed to make me as comfortable as possible given the circumstances. I was in absolute shock. This was not supposed to be happening to us. Our hearts had broken. Jory and I looked at each other in complete disbelief and cried together. This was our miracle baby. Why couldn't I be able to carry him to term? Why are we having all these problems? We're the perfect couple. I brag a lot because he's really awesome. We will be the perfect parents. Why? My doctor showed up a short time later and came in with a little hope. He said the previous doctor was wrong. I was only 3 centimeters dilated, and there was a chance the medication can stop the contractions. And with a cerclage, we might be able to stop delivery. He said the chance was small, but at least there was a chance.